What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to talk about a new feature inside of Adobe Premiere Pro called auto reframing. And this is going to help you reframe all of your video for Instagram and other social media accounts. Now let's get started. Now, if you enjoy watching this video and you want to see more like it, please subscribe to the channel because I'm constantly creating new content. Now, before we get started, I just want to clarify that this feature is available in the newest version of Adobe Premiere Pro 2020. If you have older versions, this auto reframing feature is only available in the newest version of Adobe Premiere Pro, so definitely update in your Creative Cloud account. And if you have older versions where you don't have the CC account, I made a video previously on how you can do this manually, and I'll link that in the description below, and also here's a banner up on top. So that way you can manually do it if you don't have the newest version of Premiere Pro. That being said, let's head down here in the timeline. So I have a clip of a kid skateboarding, and as he rides, he ollies, and when he lands, all of a sudden a little bit of text lands. So it's a very simple clip with some text. And I've completed editing, and it's in 16.9 format, which is the standard kind of wide format for most video. But now I finish it, I want to upload specific sections, or if it's for a client. So they love the video, the final product, but they also want a version for social media accounts, for Instagram, Facebook, so on. So now there's a new feature called auto reframe. So you can take the existing sequence, the existing timeline, and you can export a version without adjusting the original sequence. And the system is very smart when it does this auto reframing. You'll notice here when the text comes on, it's very wide and it fills almost the whole screen. And you'll also notice when he lands, he's off center. He's kind of in this 1/3 section of the 2/3. But what it's going to do is it's going to reframe and kind of place him centered and readjust the text here to fit within the frame. So let's head over to the project panel here to the left. So this is just the original single clip by itself. And then also I have the sequence itself with the text. So if we hover over the sequence and we right mouse click, head up here to where it says auto reframe sequence, and it's going to prompt you to a different window. And this is the auto reframe sequence window. So you can name this whatever you want. So let's just say, I'm going to name this sequence and add Instagram, just so we know this is meant for social media. So let's head down here to the aspect ratio. So this is the key. So there's a few different things. If you do the click down menu, there's a square 1:1, a vertical 4:5, vertical 9/9/16, horizontal 16:9, and then there's also custom. So these are standard social media aspect ratios. So Instagram has the standard square. You'll notice they also have kind of a taller version, which fills up more real estate on the Instagram on your phone, and that'll be the 4:5. There's the 9:6, which are the really tall and skinny versions for Instagram stories. So this just depends on the aspect ratio you want for whatever media you're wanting to adjust. So let's just do the typical Instagram square. So click on that. Motion tracking, there's slower motion, default to faster motion. So obviously slow motion is if you're doing sort of B-roll where you're slowing down the clip and you're making it slow motion, click this. Any standard click average default will work. And if you're doing anything fast, bike racing, very quick motion, you can use fast motion. But I'm gonna keep this on default. It does a really good job on tracking the subject. Now another thing to remember, if your subject's just staying in the middle, say if it's a GoPro on a helmet on a bike, and you're riding, clearly your point of view is center so it works. But if you're filming someone else, say skiing downhill, and they're going left to right, if you have a static shot in the middle, obviously that person's gonna enter and exit outside of the frame. This automatic reframe will identify the subject, track them, and add keyframes and track them to keep them in center the whole time. So let's click create. So now you'll notice if you come down here to the project panel, we have our original sequence, and then we have an auto reframe sequences. And this creates a folder. So if we do a 1:1 square, if we do one that's 4:5, we do all these different resizes. So it just keeps all the reframe sequences, nice little kind of social media folder. It's really nice. And you'll also notice up here, we have the original skateboarder sequence, and then it has the new version of the skateboarder sequence for Instagram. You can click back, you see the original we saw before, and now we have the Instagram, which is the 1:1 ratio, which you can see right here. So now if I come over and I play it, you notice how it kept him right in the center, plus the skateboarding text, it shrunk and made it even. So let's do this again. Let's go back to our main sequence, right mouse click, go to the exact same thing, and this time, let's make it the kind of portrait 4:5 ratio. And here I'm gonna click this and I'm just gonna do 4:5. Click create. So now you notice up here, there's a new sequence in the timeline, the one we just created, the 4:5. There's also the 1:1 square. And if we head back over here into the project panel, double click it, now you're going to see both of the sequences that have been auto reframed. So it just keeps them nice and organized. So if you have 3 different social media accounts that you want to send them to, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and they're all different aspect ratios, you can make it just a bunch of them and then you have them ready to go. But now we're going to stick with the 4x5 and go to the exact same position. We're going to watch him, he'll do the ollie. He'll land, you'll notice that the text is reframed even thinner and he is still centered. Do this one more time. Let's right mouse click it, go to auto reframe, and let's do the very tall, kind of thin for Instagram stories. Do that, and we're going to name this just for reference. I guess we don't have to, it already says 9x16. Okay, 9x16. So now if you'll notice, it adjusts him right in the middle again. So we'll go here, and he'll land, and once again, the text here is shrunk to fit the scene. It automatically reads it, and then he is nice and centered. Now, if you want to do different adjustments, you can of course go up and get the keyframes and kind of nudge it a little different directions if you want to, but overall the automatic system does a fantastic job of finding the subject, tracking them, centering them, especially if you have text and effects, combining them in whatever frame aspect ratio you have. So now you'll notice up here we have all the different versions. So we have the original, we have the Instagram square, we have the Instagram portrait, and we also have kind of the tall skinny Instagram story or any other social media you want to post it to. And then once you've exported all these and you've kind of fulfilled that and you're done, you can obviously just highlight this entire folder if you want and delete it. And this way you have your original sequence and you have the video exactly the way you intended it. Anyway, that is auto reframing inside of Adobe Premiere Pro 2020. It's a fantastic feature, especially in this day and age when social media is so important. I hope this video helped, and if it did, please give it a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. And like I said, if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel because I'm constantly creating new content. That being said, have a great day. Later.